Hello everybody, it's me again. And I'm here to talk about a little game known as Mario Kart World. And I've been playing this game for like a while now. Cause like I stood in line for like 5 hours at Best Buy to buy the Mario Kart World bundle game. And ever since then I've basically been non-stop playing this. I've been playing the online mode. It's been pretty fun. I played it with my sisters. It was alright. And after playing it, I I gathered a couple of complaints about the game that I personally have, and I feel like some other people that have also played the game have it too. And
Okay, so for the first
basically
problem I can
this
probably
video
say
is
that I
gonna be
have
about basically just pointing out the complaints
is
that I have
that
about this game,
this game,
and why this
like the
game
queue
is
time for this
probably,
game
if
is
not worse
insane.
than Mario
Like
Kart 8 Deluxe.
it's so long.
Like in the video in the background that I was filming, like I was planning on making a video about my Mario Kart World Online experience, and I couldn't even make it because like most of the video was spent, like I spent like 30 minutes in queue just waiting for a game. And mind you, this game just dropped yesterday. It just dropped yesterday, and Nintendo Switch 2 probably got to be one of the biggest launches ever. And more people bought this edition than they bought the regular Switch too. So it's not like it doesn't have players. So is it because people got sick of this game and just dropped it? Is it because the amount of players that are in the game is like the amount of players that are in the game is too much to the point where it's hard to fill up those lobbies, and whenever somebody leaves, right? Because for this lobby it was like 15 people in there, but then the thing is that people, because of how big the map is, because the map is supposed to be like 20 something people, you know 15 people that are probably driving really slow cannot complete a big map like that in a short time. On top of it, because the game needs like 26 people in a game at the same time, what it does? Basically, what it does is it basically brings in other people, like when it doesn't have enough players in the lobby, and that causes the other people to have to sit there for like 10 minutes or so just waiting for them to complete the race, and that can get really boring. And that's what I was experiencing before. This drove me crazy to the point where I legit just had to make a video on the problems for Mario Kart World, because this is the main problem I experience the most whenever I come to play this game. Because the game, it just, when you have to stay long in queue, it just causes people to just not want to play the game. For example, Sparking Zero, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, the same thing that happened. The reason why I quit the game too. I don't know. And so the next problem that I have with this game is just that they said too much for this game. Nintendo as a whole, they said too much. They basically overpromised. They basically, I don't know if that's a word, but like they basically promised us way too much for this game. They were hyping up the open world, all of that. They said it was gonna be this big and saying it, but like I tried the open world and it was not good. It was so boring and so trash that I couldn't even sit there for like more than 5 minutes. The open world was not it for this game. I'm not gonna lie, because the way Nintendo were talking about it, they made it a whole point of this game. Because obviously people just question what's the difference between this one and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and their answer was the open world. They said this was gonna be the new thing, the new big thing. Even though most people just question why do we need an open world for Mario Kart, nobody begged for that. Nobody begged for an open world for Mario Kart, and they made that the whole standing point for the game. And obviously that failed, because I cannot see anybody talking about this open world, because there's nothing to do on it. There's no content to make about the open world. There's no, even my little sisters even enjoy playing that. They'd rather go play something like Zelda, because like the Mario Kart 8, Mario Kart World was just so boring. As alongside of that, I had to go buy Zelda with it, unless I was gonna regret buying this Nintendo Switch 2 in the first place. Because like which that's also another main point of this video. Like Mario Kart 8, Mario Kart World as a whole is just not a good launch title. It's just not. It's better as it's better as a game that drops later on, but not as a launch title. If you compare it to Nintendo Switch launch title, or compared to literally any other launch title, Mario Kart World's launch title is just not good. It's a very weak launch title. Cause like after buying this, I was low-key on my bed just regretting buying this Switch 2 in the first place. I did not Like if I could go back into the past and talk to myself, I would stop myself from buying this console. I see no difference between this one and the regular Switch. I could have just bought Zelda Breath of the Wild for the regular Switch and just enjoy my game. That's that's kind of another main problem I have with it. And the third problem is it has to be the fact that this game as a whole is incredibly boring. It's just boring because you all have to remember that this game costs like nearly $90. I think it costs $90. I think, but right now this game is the most expensive base game ever out right now. No PS5 titles cost as much as this game on base. Y'all have to understand this. Not a single PS5 base game, right? I'm not talking about Ultimate Edition. No, the base game itself costs as much as this game does. And y'all might be like, hey, Nintendo doesn't do Ultimate Editions. Technically, they do for Mario Kart. Because you know you're gonna drop a DLC later on. So, this game, right, drops without a DLC or nothing. It's like nearly $90. And it's this bad? Like, y'all don't understand, like, y'all might be hitting on me for, pointing out the problems like this, but like the main problem I have with this game is just the price. Like, I wouldn't have a problem with this game if the price wasn't as big as it is. The game is not worth the price. For a game that costs this much, I expected it to do so much more. I expected to just stay on this game for how long, but no. Just no. I couldn't even stay on this game for like more than an hour. I just couldn't. I just had to go back to my PS5. I actually felt depressed playing this game because every second I spent on this game, I just told myself I really just spent $90 on this game. Like, for example, if you were to load onto the game, right, this was what you're gonna see in the UI. Like, you're just gonna load in, right? Open your game, you're just excited to, just run Mario Kart, right? And then this is gonna be the UI. Like, you just spend like 5 minutes in this loading screen, right? And then and then once you finally are able to load into the home screen, you're stuck, just watching this trash UI. Like, it's just really boring. Because Mario Kart 8, we let that go because it's a really old game. It came out during the Wii time, so we let that slide. But this is a new game. There should be no reason why the UI should be that boring. I don't know, like, this is, y'all might be saying that I'm just complaining too much on that part, but I just feel like the UI shouldn't be that boring. I don't know, because most of the reason why people actually want to play video games is, once they load in, the UI actually makes them want to play. For example, even though I hate on this game a lot, Sparking Zero is an example of one of those games where the UI is actually really good, and you can actually just stay on it and not feel so pissed off that you just want to quit. Sparking Zero is a good example of this. The UI is, okay, and FIFA and the rest of them, basically, the UI should not be that bland. Like, Nintendo, why do y'all do this? Because first it was the home screen that was trash for a new console. The home screen, y'all know how bad the Nintendo Switch home screen is. Later on, the UI is also trash. Like, it just has a question. Does Nintendo know that most of their fan base are kids? Nintendo is targeted towards kids, even though it's mostly adults. Even though it's mostly adults who are seeing playing it, it's targeted towards kids. So why is the UI so trash for a quote unquote kids game? It doesn't make any sense. I just don't like that personally. I feel like they need to make an update later on to actually make the UI worth something. And the other problem I have with it is this is probably going to annoy a whole lot of people too, just like it annoyed me. This is the fact that they removed custom cars. Like, now you cannot spec out a bunch of cars. For some people, like, y'all might know the YouTuber Shortcat. He's a very popular Minecraft YouTuber, and basically they basically removed uniqueness in this game. They basically removed that. They removed the ability to customize your cars. They basically removed all that, and like, if you watch Shortcat, one of the most popular Mario Kart YouTubers, you know how fun and customizing cars can be. For example, making a max traction car, making a max heavy build car. It's really fun to play like that, It brings uniqueness, it brings new possibilities. For example, making a challenge where you have to win like 10 games with a max traction car, something like that. It basically makes the game more fun. Now they basically removed all of that. They removed everything from that. They basically said, hey, we're gonna bring in everything unique about customizing cars. We're just gonna remove that and make the game cost more money. That's just something I don't like about this. And like, it it just bugs me a lot whenever I see that. Whenever I just hop on it, I don't know. It just feels less creative. The game is definitely at this rate. The game is definitely gonna become boring for YouTubers. For YouTubers like Shortcut and the rest of them that make content like that, and for regular people that play it, because it seems like for every audience, the game doesn't live up to their expectations, especially for the price. Like if y'all gonna complain to me, I just want y'all to remember that this is the most expensive base game out right now. So if y'all are gonna complain to me about something, tell me that I'm just complaining too much or anything like that, just remember this is the most expensive base game out. So yeah, just remember that, you know. And that's gonna be it for today. That's all the complaints I can remember. If you like the video, hit the like button and subscribe. And by the way, I'm gonna be doing a live video, you know, in a couple of, like, you know, next week if this video actually gets views. So if this video ends up getting views, I will do a live video, a live, you know, streaming for, you know, Mario Kart World, and I will be doing a giveaway for Mario Kart World. So yeah, basically just hit me up during the live, and I will, if you're the first person to put in the code, you win the game. That's the way it is. And that's gonna be it for this video. If you like the video, please hit the like button. I'll really appreciate it. And you know, if you're feeling generous, you know, subscribe. You know, it doesn't take much from people, and it really helps me out. You know, it helps. It might seem small, but it helps a small YouTuber like me out a lot, and I really appreciate that. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.